Howdy, partners. Welcome back to the channel. It is Wednesday when you're watching this, hopefully, which means it is time to review some YouTube comments from last week's videos. And we got some good ones, and we got some weird ones, and it's going to be all around a good time. If you want to be in these videos, please do leave a comment. It could be a good one, not too long, or I'll probably never read it, but a nice one. Leave a good comment. You might get in. And yeah, like, comment, subscribe. It'd be really cool. All right, let's start here with Jamoose, a YouTube member. Feels like the Liberator decks haven't been tested enough and are better than people think. Also, have you seen the $95 Hormone Eggs at TCG? Wow. Yes, I have. It's not a big deal, but it's fine. It's whatever. And I do agree with Liberator decks. As we test the format more and more, they're actually not that bad. Now, there are certain decks that are just better, like Imperial, but like you can build around it, and like you can actually give yourself a decent shot at those decks. So that's pretty cool. Like, did you know that Venusmon just kind of beats Imperial? And I know people are going to comment and say, well, actually, if you play Imperial, it's a good card. So anyway, there's stuff you can do. Absolutely. Moving along to Noah here. EX7 meta will be fun in EN. JP didn't have a chance to explore EX7 because it was overshadowed by Venusmon. We have some time before BT18 hits 2. This will be a fun meta. Lots of new decks and ideas. I'm sure the best decks will float to the top, but the first few events after the release will be really interesting. To which someone says blue decks will top right away. And D-Links could high roll, but not consistently. We are entering different territory, and I'm going to be real for a second. There's a part of me in my soul, deep down inside, and like you gotta look really deep to find this part of my soul, but I kind of enjoy that North America has different metas as of right now. Like, that'll change soon. But like, for example, our EX7 is going to be completely different than Japan's EX7 based on promo available. I think scrambles were out in Japan at that point in time too. I believe. And we have a ban list where different decks are just no longer capable of being played in the same way. So it really is going to spice things up. Not to mention that Japan is going to get BT18, BT19, BT20, like that. But Bandai has the ability to amalgamate those three sets into making an interesting, diverse meta for North America that, again, doesn't really exist in Japan. So I think it is creative to a sense that we still get some independence in our meta comparatively to Japan. However, that does change next year, so enjoy it while it lasts, I guess. Avius. I think your point about Mother Shoto for the push is the point that it should be restricted pairing. If every deck needs to add tech cards to beat one interaction or be locked out of the game, it's not a healthy combo. One combo is, in your opinion, warping how every deck needs to be built around it. That's not good. Just someone says about Magna X and whatever. I sort of disagree with this point, and I'm going to explain to you why. You can have good combos in Digimon, or any card game for that matter, that you have to build around. Like, that's like saying, what's a really good example? Oh man, there's so many. It's like saying you have to build around Imperial. Or it's like saying, oh, you gotta build around Lord Nightmon on BT5 because that was really strong. And if you don't build around it, you're not gonna win. That's not good. And other card games have different examples of this. So it's not a big deal. Combos exist that are good in card games. It will happen, and it will happen again, and again, and again. That's not necessarily an unhealthy thing. That's fine. It's not really a big deal, honestly. It's not good enough, in my opinion, to the point where it warrants, like I actually let me rephrase this. It's not good enough to that it makes the Digimon experience unfun. It's just a 2-card combo. And not all decks need attacking cards. Some decks already inherently play cards that deal with it. So nothing is changing. Your quality of life, it's not like it's diminishing or whatever. And, if you need to throw in a tech card, people do that all the time. Do we not have formats where people tech in cards to deal with certain problem cards in certain metas? It's ludicrous. It's like, it's fine. It's card games. You can be subjective and say it's good or it's bad or that's not good or whatever. It's just reality. It is what it is. People have different opinions on whether or not it's good for the game or not. if you don't like it, you're entitled to your opinion. That's fine. But like, it's not like it's unhealthy. It's okay. This will happen in every card game. It will continue to happen in every card game. It's not going to go away. This is just the nature of card games. Sometimes something happens that you have to build around because you don't want to lose to it. Like, it's just the way that it is. You know, I don't have anything else to add to it. I think that this point comes from a little bit of sour salt. I'm not really sure, but it's a good discussion point anyway. Because different people have different opinions on this kind of topic, and you know, that's what it is. I have much bigger issues with Digimon than Mother Shoto. Trust me. The game itself is in a problem state. Mother Shoto doesn't really add or subtract from that. It is just what it is. High score chef. I like to make the educated guess that Tyrant Kabu is up in price due to the potentially good matchup against Imperial. Turning Tyrant Kabu's card sideways prevents it from being affected by most of the Digimon effects players hate about Imperial. To be fair, when one player in the local competitive scene, bopping all Imperial players with the Tyrant. Absolute hero. That is pretty cool. That is not bad. However, you can fight Tyrant no problem with Imperial, or the blue deck for that matter, if you read their cards. I once lost a game to Tyrant because I didn't read the cards. But, like, that's not a example of the regular norm, right? You can play around that kind of stuff easily. Benjamin Wiseman. I like how Saturdays always get these box assessments. Even if the value doesn't change much week to week, it's good to know. That is completely coincidental. I don't want you to think that this is an intentional every Saturday thing or whatever happens on Saturday thing. It just happens to be when I feel like covering it. There is no rhyme. There is no reason. There will just be a market watch day where I'll feel like it's been a bit. Let's talk about it and move on. There's no pre-thought anything. I'm sorry if that disappoints you, but there's no greater machination behind it. Dawson Flint, do you pronounce certain card names incorrectly on purpose? I find it hilarious every time you say Taikari Kamiya, and just wondering if it's a gag or not. It is a gag. It is a gag. You know, there's the Takado thing. There's the Takuya thing. There's so many examples. The reason why I started doing it is because there are a couple Digimon content creators who will remain nameless because I don't want to humiliate anyone right now, that intentionally say card names wrong. And I actually have done this before myself, but I will eventually learn the correct way, and then I know. It's fine. I have my own slip-ups too. Did you know that Burning Greymon is not a Greymon? Like, you know? It's just a gag. It really is a gag. I know the right way to say it is Tayankari Kamaya. I know that for sure. You don't gotta tell me. I just know, and that's okay. Matt Zier, I'm glad that Bandai let you know. Here in UK, it seems to be up to LGS to tell us. BT17 was such a disaster. I still haven't seen a single BT7 card outside of a box I luckily managed to buy because I was one of the lucky ones who reserved from the half case that arrived. That is sad. That's actually depressing, and Bandai should do better. I am bitchy still about the EX7 delay in North America, but I do understand that there are people in other regions that do have it worse. I do know that. I know there are some people in the comments that are being like, you know that meme? I don't know what movie it's from, but like, it's the Noose meme, where the guy is being hung, and the other guy is like, first time? You know that meme, right? That's basically, that's it. That's the meme. And like, I understand that, and I do feel for those regions that are getting shafted harder by Bandai. It is really unfortunate. Next up, we have Oscar Fonseca. I have no idea if I said that right or not. Ahem. This is all happening because Bandai doesn't stop releasing TCGs, and I bet you that even though they have more TCGs to supply for, they haven't increased production at all, or at least proportionally. I cannot confirm or deny any of this, but I do believe that if you draw yourself too thin, you will fuck yourself, and not in the good way, in the bad way. I've been calling this since basically Union Arena was originally announced. I called it and I said, shit's gonna go down, and shit has been going down. My prediction was basically right on the money. It is really thin, to the point where certain card communities are being left in the dust. Hashtag DBS, hashtag BSS. Like, Digimon is not there yet, but I know that Bandai is also working on other card games in the pipeline. So, like, like, what are they doing? I'm hoping that this is incorrect, and I'm hoping that they have the staffing to separate these IPs into separate, like, parts of their companies, so there's no amalgamation. And I'm pretty sure that they've mastered that part of it, which is good. But I don't know about factories, because there are only a certain amount of card game production factories. Like, there's not as many as you might think there are. And, you know, I joke with my friends sometimes that if I wanted to get rich, I would just open a factory that produces card games. Because card games keep becoming a dime a dozen. And, like, they're never out of work. They are never out of work. They are in short supply. So, if anyone needs a get rich quick stream idea, my brain's broken. Maybe consider starting up one of those companies, like, for real. Krusty2323, a YouTube member. Looks like the delay thing is due to several political factors around the globe. Many tariffs being changed is really messing up the global shipping. This is where I'm gonna give my honest opinion. That's okay. I'm gonna be brutally honest. We live in a world where tariffs exist. Big companies should know that, and big companies should plan for inconveniences. Like, for example, Bandai could have shipped everything out 2 weeks earlier, and that would have solved the whole problem for North America. Potentially. There might be other factors we don't know about, but, like, if they just sped up their clock by 2 weeks, it solves a lot of these problems. It is what it is. If Bandai keeps having issues with other regions getting things shipped out on time, Bandai should adapt, and they either should change their shipping strategy in terms of who they use and how they use them, or they should just ship sooner. You know, and even if the stuff, you know, sits in the warehouse for a week or whatever before it gets actioned, that's fine. At least stores know they'll get their stuff on time and there'll be no delays. That's just me. Apparently that's not common sense, but that is what I feel anyway. Zaborg, the Venusmon promo is a great card for All Force. It's just a shame that All Force still isn't competitive. The price drops. It is dropping, which is good, and yes, All Force sucks. Unfortunately, you need that promo for All Force, which is why it has a premium, and All Force cards themselves have a premium. Just look at Rena, for example. It is what it is. It sucks, and All Force support, we're due. We are due for All Force support. Ichigo. They need to choice restrict Lunamon instead of ban it. Or they say hitting Mirage fixes the issue in the first place. To which someone says, okay, here's my opinion. There have been 2 loops now, decent loops, that exist because of the Tamer. So if there's a problem card, it's the Tamer. Not Mirage. I mean, Mirage is a problem card, but, like, not in this context. It's just the Tamer. And I know the Galaxy players don't want their cards hit, but, like, I think Bandai's got to take the L, ban the card that keeps making loops, and then work harder at card design to ensure bullshit like that doesn't exist again. You know, Konami and Wizards, really good companies at hitting infinite loops. They will hit them right away. Bandai is letting these fester. Let this one fester, the current one, because it's not that good. Like, I'm sorry to be that guy that says it, but, like, it's not that consistent. But still, you can't interact with it. It sucks to play against if they get it off. They should just ban the Tamer, and they should call it a day. What are you gonna do? Choice ban, choice restrict every single time a card comes out that loops with it? I think that's silly personally, but if you disagree with me, let me know in the comments. Edward Mendez, a great way to start the morning, wake up, take out my dogs for a walk, get a coffee, and watch Mario's Market Watch. What a beautiful sentence. I agree with this. You should do that more often. Melgus, to be honest, Venusmon is one of the best cards in the game because it solves the come from raising OTKs. It's a good card. I agree. I've been saying this since when? Since it came out? Card's crazy. Digicord. I think one issue we have is Bandai only seem to limit cards when they become meta-defining broken, leading dominating tournament results. I think there are quite a few older cards that current use does not meet initial design intent. They may not be busted, broken, of course, but sometimes they can feel a bit silly. For example, the Kurisarimon that gives you plasma memory when you play Diamond token not being once per turn. The not once per turn part wasn't much of an issue before, as they couldn't spawn tokens as frequently as easily as they do now. I do think they may implement block rotation at some point. I never used to like the idea, but as days go on, I'm certainly more open to it. This comment hits a few check boxes on the list. Block rotation. What's the point of these little block numbers on the bottom of the cards? Like Mirage Galamon's block 02. What's the point of implementing them if they're not going to use them? I think they will use them in some way, shape, or form at some point. I don't know what that looks like. We'll know when we know. I think if we will find out something soon, it'll be with globalization. That's just a theory based in no evidence whatsoever, just a gut feeling. Also, I do agree that older cards can become problems. Like, for example, Mother Reaper with Shoto. Mother Reaper in itself wasn't really a problem. But then you make cards like Shoto, and all of a sudden people are crying about it. So, like, this is just the way it is, unfortunately. Nothing will change it, and Bandai does let things fester for a while before they do make hits, which I disagree with. They should be a little more active. The ban list should be fluid. It really should be, but Bandai won't do it. Bandai is slow. That's okay. Bat's Game Guru. Damn, Mara's saying you should die for using cardboard is wild. To which everyone agrees. This one guy says the one time I'm on something. First of all, I'm onto something more often than you think. But second of all, like, use a top loader. It's not hard. Like, top loaders are cool. They save lives. Cardboard sucks. Don't ship in cardboard. I have never once shipped in cardboard. And I owned my card shop through COVID. You could always get top loaders. People just didn't try hard enough. The fact people still do it outside of COVID times just makes me, like, so cringe. It's unbelievable. Mox Moonstone, we know Paildramon is on BT16, right? Yeah, I misspoke. I think I covered that already, but I just want to cover it. I make mistakes. It happens. It's fine. Ethan Adolph's Drop a Mirage list. It's actually in my YouTube membership. If you become a YouTube member, you can see the Mirage list. It is there for all your glory. And lastly, cool name videos. Does anyone know where I could find the top cut for a regional new to the game and I needed to a deck? Someone says Eggman events, which is fine, good answer. But I bring this up because top cut coverage is not widely covered in Digimon to an effective standpoint. What do I mean by this? You have card games where people will break down a top cut. Like, people will be given results, and they will use those results to make informative content as to what the results mean. Now, we used to do this. I'm going to try to do this in the nicest way possible. When Eggman used to do this, before he just put him on the website because he swapped to One Piece and whatever else, he doesn't make the content anymore. That's fine. Like, it was cool that he made the video, but the videos had no real analysis. It was just like, here are some top 16 deck lists, here are some of the deck lists, here are some of the cards that are interesting, but there was no analysis. There was no nothing. It was like putting bread in a toaster and eating it without putting anything on it. And sometimes that's all you need if you're going on a diet or something, fine. But sometimes you really just want to slap that peanut butter on that. Sometimes you want to have some jelly. Sometimes you want to have peanut butter jelly time with a baseball bat. And those videos didn't offer that. Now, I know that whenever the odd time I got the top 16 lists from like a European regional or Australia or whatever, I actually made a video. And I intentionally made the videos designed to give good insights. This is why these cards are played. Here's how it affects the meta. Here's what we need to know about this deck going forward into the future of the meta. Here's what you could try to do next time to adapt to this. Like, and I do it on stream. Did it on stream, you know, talked about it a lot on stream. You know, just so if anyone wants those videos, if you know a regional TO and you want those videos made, Just hook up the top 16 deck lists. I'll make one. I don't care. I'll do it. I need content anyway for the freaking podcast that I'll be starting on this channel at some point soon. So content like that would go really well on a podcast. So there we go. That's it. 20 minutes. Oh, man, that just did not feel 20 minutes, let me tell you. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about my comment video today, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.